Heck yeah. All right, buddy. All right, let me see if I can find you. All right, visually, there we go. There's all our visual people. Guess I was on page 2 of the leaderboard. Everybody on page 3, they're all like, nobody's can't see them, man. So they all must be in bed listening to it in bed. Well, Dustin, I appreciate you being on the call with us today, buddy. I think your partner in crime, Mr. Mark Newbauer, said you were going to be doing the book of the month today for us. Is that right, sir?
I am, and I'm prepared.
I love it, man. I love a man that is prepared. Well, I'm going to start it off. I know usually I start off leaderboards, and I'm going to get into them here in just a minute, but I'm going to start it off with you today, and going to give you about 5 minutes to talk about book of the month. So what is our book of the month this month, and what should all new people and veterans alike be reading this month, buddy?
Yeah, so this month we're reading the book Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson. It's a book about how to deal with change and what happens when change occurs. Oh, I'm sorry. I see that you're muted, so you want me to just run with it. I will do so. Well, thank you everyone for being here today. It's a pleasure to be a part of this call and be a part of this team. Like I said, we're talking about Who Moved My Cheese. My name is Dustin Hensley. I'm direct to Mark Newbauer. And a quick recap of the story for those who still haven't read it. Okay, so there are 4 characters running through this difficult maze, and they're each looking for cheese. And cheese means something different to everyone, but at the start, they all find a stash of cheese that is going to last them for a long time. And when the cheese ran out, eventually it ran out, and 2 of the characters leave the area to go back into the maze and find new cheese. But the others remained there for a long time, and they felt like victims. They wished that things would go back to the way they were. And a lot of the story takes place in that moment as the other 2 characters are out in the maze looking for new cheese, and then the 2 main characters, I would say, are there, wishing things were different. Eventually, one of the 2 that remained ventures out into the maze again in search of new cheese. And although it's difficult and painful, the possibility of finding new cheese outweighs the consequence of inaction. And so this character who goes out, his name is Haw. He learns valuable lessons about himself in the maze, and he eventually does find new cheese, and he's optimistic that others are going to follow in his footsteps. Now, the book points out several platitudes for review, but there are a couple of things that I noticed that I thought were maybe a little harder to find. So 2 things, if you're writing these down. Number 1 is visualization. Now, Haw had intense feelings of regret over the mistakes that he had made up until this point where he's starving in the room that used to have cheese and now doesn't. And he also was really unsure whether there even was new cheese to be found if he goes out into the maze. And that's a question he asked himself regularly. If I go out there, is it even there? But what he did to overcome these feelings was to visualize himself finding the cheese. He very, very clearly defined what it would feel like when he found the cheese and what he would do once he found the cheese. And I want to let you know that visualization is a very powerful tool to shape our beliefs, which are the key step in what's called the feedback loop. There's a training that Drew McClure put on for some Symmetry agents a couple months ago, and I'll share the link in Band, Chris, with your permission. But he said that belief informs our emotions. If you want to draw this like a circle, belief is at the top, and it informs our emotions. And emotions provoke our actions, and actions lead to results that then shape our beliefs. And so if you find yourself caught in a feedback loop where you're struggling to act because of a belief that you have, that maybe there is no cheese out there, maybe I can't do this, maybe this is too hard for me, visualization is a tool that you can use to change how you feel and how you believe that will lead to different actions and results. The second thing that Haw discovered is journaling. And while the book doesn't talk about journaling specifically, I noticed that Haw wrote his epiphanies down on the wall of the maze for posterity. So anyone coming behind him could read what he learned and possibly learn them faster. And he later reviewed those notes at the end and summarized them so that he would never forget them. And those of you that have been here for a while may notice that these are 2 of the 6 activities in the Miracle Morning from Hal Elrod's book. Those 6 activities are silence and meditation, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing or journaling. And you can read about those in his book. And there's a lot of really great like image summaries that you can find on Google Images. So I'd say that Ha spent time in silence during parts of his journey in the maze, reflecting on his choices and using that time to think ahead and process. He was also literally running every day in the maze. And so his activity was fitness related, and no doubt that encouraged him to feel healthy. And not to get too meta on you all, but if you've read the book, you know that it ends by telling you to share it with others. So I think it's safe to say that the author is a fan of reading for self-development. Now, I want to end my time with this. And Chris, I forgot to push the clock when you started, so I'm not sure how close I am. I'm sure it's close, but I'm going to say this. One of the core values of SFG is a commitment to continuous self-improvement. And reading these books each month is, good for your brain, of course, as a thought exercise, sure. But the life-changing value of these books comes when you apply it to what you learn to your daily life. And to be part of SFG and have access to all that this company has to offer in terms of self-improvement, like these training calls and live conference events, the books of the month, your coaches, Thrive, the list goes on, and functionally ignore them is as foolish as the character who stayed in the place where the old cheese used to be, wishing something different would happen. And I'm talking to myself. It hurts to hear those words out loud. And so don't misunderstand me, please. I'm not perfect, and I'm certainly not consistent with this either. But I want to make a pledge right now that I will step up my commitment to continuous self-improvement and apply the wisdom of these books to my daily life, both personally and professionally. I hope you'll join me. Thank you, Chris.
Buddy, that was an amazing breakdown, man. Like, we're going to nominate you as nominee for book breakdown of the year so far, man. That was great. Seriously, clear, concise, to the point. I love how you related it to this business. Beautiful, buddy. Right there. There's the blueprint right there, folks. You want to know how to break down the book of the month. Dustin Hensley just did it right there, buddy. That was excellent, sir. Hey, and we have it recorded thanks to you. So, hey, I appreciate you, buddy. Hey, seriously, man, appreciate you so much, man. I love that. And, it's something I just want to reiterate. It's something that I've always incorporated in my business here at Symmetry. And a lot of people, I love it, Dustin, you do point that out. A lot of people will leave that out and think, well, the key is running appointments. And yes, that's one of the keys, but you want to put a steroid in your business, a steroid in your thought process, and a steroid in your trajectory here at Symmetry Financial is that continuous self-improvement daily. It's just something that certainly has added a lot of value to me. And I know I've mentioned it nauseating to a lot of you, and it's just, it's good to know it. But if you're not doing it, we really, it'll manifest itself in the long term, right? And it'll manifest itself in the long term on how you take action and really the results you get. And something else important, because obviously there's a component here that we not only develop ourselves, but we help develop other people. Well, the people you attract to you will be either the people you never attract to you who you want, you attract to you who you are, right? So if you're a non-reader, who are you going to attract? You're going to attract non-readers, people that won't self-develop. Well, guess what? A bunch of people that won't self-develop, they'll be here for a minute, maybe a long minute, but they won't stay here, right? They just won't be attracted. And I'm just saying that also manifests itself to the long term. And you can see a mushrooming effect in your business if you are reading correctly. Also, you can see a big vacuum in your business if that's not the case, where you're not attracting people that would actually fit the culture of Symmetry and feel the long-term effects of growing here. So like I said, beautiful breakdown, buddy. I will say this,
Thank you.
some of you are going through a hem and haw situation right now with how you're recruiting. And one of it, and I'll point it out, is ZipRecruiter. Like, guess what? The cheese is moving a little bit for you, right? You know what I mean? On ZipRecruiter for fun, for some of you. And either it's doing it in pricing or it's doing it in a cancellation. But guess what? It's now, which one are you? Are you him or are you ha? Or you know what I mean? What character in Who Moved My Cheese are you? And what character do you want to be? Because really it's these defining moments that really, you know, I was talking to some people at the lake house this weekend and suddenly their cheese had started to move and, and you could see it. And it's like, well, guess what? This actually could be a silver lining and a great opportunity, because a lot of times that's really what it is. And so know that. So some good stuff are coming, man. So anyway, good stuff. I talked long enough about that. I want to give some news and notes real quick. Today at 12 o'clock, going to add some value to you guys. We've got 3 agency owners headed by Ryan Federico on how to improve your close ratio. So any of you out there looking to improve your close ratio, here's the key component to understanding that. If you do that, guess what? It also improves your profitability, the people that you can attract to your business, because that's, if you can do it, you can teach others to do it type thing. So definitely tune into that. Have you and your team plug into that, and that way you can have some of the best and brightest people out there in Symmetry teaching and training your teams. Also, another thing I want to cover real quick, tickets go up August 1st for our conference to $129. They are currently $99. You can get with your agency owner today. Plug in, fill out a job form, and get that in, and you can go ahead and be at the discounted rate August 1st. If you're hearing my voice right now, that ticket will go up to $129. So save yourself money, get in the $99 rate there today. All right. Hey, and tomorrow, put this on your calendar, 11 a.m. Eastern, we're going to have Mr. Mark Newbauer, certainly his group. He's the #1 agency owner in all of Symmetry Financial, folks. #1 agency owner in all of Symmetry Financial. And he's going to be hosting the new agent call tomorrow, teaching you new agents how to get started and get started quickly. Make sure you plug into that. You got Mr. Mark Newbauer, one of the best promoters in all of Symmetry out there, helping you get your business started out in the right direction. So make sure you plug into that tomorrow. I see. Anything else I want to cover on that? Nope. So I'm going to get in some leaderboards here. I want to get into app count this past week. Another great week by the organization, considering a lot of our team was at a lake house over at Symmetry Financial Group this past week. Symmetry Financial Group's lake house in Sunset, South Carolina. So tremendous week here, keeping the big train rolling. Appreciate all you guys for your hard work, because this was another amazing week by this organization. We're doing the 6 app a week club right here this past week. Mr. Rocco Pearson, Gisela Gamora, both of them had 6 applications this past week. Phil Mooring, 7 applications. Way to go, Phil. Laura Davis, always strong on the app count leaderboards with 8. We had Andy Ballantyne, new agent, 9 applications this past week. Way to go, Andy. Super proud of you, buddy. That is strong. I know you're coming on strong there, man. 9, Mr. DJ Robinson. I think he may be, and this is really cool, he's in our organization. He may be the #1 all producer for Symmetry Financial year to date. So pretty cool stuff right there. And he's in our organization. So pretty cool. Well over 300-something thousand in production. And not to be outdone, because we do the tiebreakers each week by app count and APV. Betsy Barr, #1 app count writer for the week, Miss DFL herself, with 9 applications. Way to go, Betsy Barr, and making us proud on the national call last week. Going to announce any key leaders over 10,000 for the week. We had Mr. Joe Martinez and his blowing up organization, 14,060 on the leaderboards this past week. And then also, because I'm having to do this away from the office today, but I want to make sure that I get this out to you guys. It's the leaderboard for personal production this past week. Okay, let's recognize everybody that was over 3,000 this past week. Mr. Brian Hamby, 3,686. Andrew Ballantyne, 3,850. 4,058. Elijah Corujo, 4,087. Phil Mooring, 4,495. Rocco Pearson, 4,659. Laura Davis, 4,877. Getting into our top five. Love this. New agent Darren Vita, 5,172. Way to go, Darren Vita. Gisela Zamora, 5,687. Way to go, Gisela. And DJ Robinson, number 3, 8,971. Number 2, Miss Betsy Barr at 9,068. There can only be one number 1. She's been here like 5 weeks, and I think 3 of the 5 weeks she's been number 1 in our organization. 2 of the 5 weeks, I think she's been number 1 in the country. Insane type numbers, crazy, but she's been in the top 1 or 2 in the country a couple of times during that. Carolina Ramos Morales, 9,165 in production this past week. Way to go, Carolina. Super proud of you, lady. That is some awesome stuff, and super congratulations there. I want to get into the top agency owners this past week. Everybody that did over 15,000 or more is an agency owner. The Zarn organization, 17,595. Way to go, Zarn Group. Corujo organization, way to go. Super proud of this. Corujo, he's chilling over at the lake house, and his crew just went off. 18,825 for Corujo. Proud of that organization. Way to Corujo organization. Tina's Base Shop, 19,361, coming into number 2 spot this past week. Can only be number 1, Mr. Mark Newbauer. 30,767 for the Newbauer organization. And they had 3 of their top leaders over at the lake house. What can they do when all their leaders aren't away, chilling at a lake house? You know what I mean? That's pretty awesome that they're still number 1, and it's not even close. 30,767, led by Mr. Mark Newbauer and that organization. Good stuff, buddy. That, sir, is amazing. And like I said, continuing their run of dominance on those leaderboards each and every week. Way to go, guys. That is super impressive. All right. So I'm going to ask my partner in crime. Lauren, do you want to do the promotion here after we at the end?
Whatever you want to do.
We'll do it at the end. We'll wait here at the end.
I will sit back down.
My partner in crime. I love it. All right. So it's going to be a little tricky, but I'm going to see if I can navigate. I got a couple of guests on here going to speak into your businesses today, and they're going to talk to you about some practical building techniques to help your business. I'm going to start it out with Jordan Gillum, and she's tricking me today because she says she's on Jared's phone. So I'm going to try to find her on Jared's phone here. Boom. Let's see. Promise you, I always need she said she's on Jared's phone. I love Zoom. Did I ever tell any of y'all how much I love Zoom? Let's see if I can see her up there or anything. I still don't see her. Lauren, won't you use your eye?
She's got her hand raised, Chris. If you scroll up to the top of the list.
Oh, I see her now. See? I love it. Way to raise your hand there. Jared Jordan.
What I do.
I like
That's
it.
right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear, buddy. Sorry, I didn't realize you were eating lunch or brunch today, and I've been I wouldn't. My bad. That's my fault.
No, you're good. No. And I want to ask you, just to make things a little bit more complicated, could you also unmute Elijah at this time? We're actually wanting to speak together on our topic.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll unmute Elijah. There you are, Elijah.
Good morning.
Good morning, buddy. How you doing, sir?
Good.
Yeah,
right.
We were.
Got launched out.
Absolutely. No, we were, Elijah and I, of course, we were just at the lake house, and, it's just been such a great experience. Guys, I am sitting in a car, probably sweating more than I should because I'm not used to humidity in East Tennessee anymore. But yeah, no, it's just awesome, having a business and being able to have the freedom that if my father-in-law randomly comes to Tennessee from Florida and we just so happen to be here too, that we could run and have brunch with him on a Monday morning like that. And then I could sit here and pour into you guys from, my mother's car. You know what I mean? Like all these, this freedom is just such a wonderful thing. And so that's the experience I'm having this morning. So if you see me melting, that's why. But no, I wanted to, share this light with Elijah rather than like taking my own time and then passing it on to him, because I after spending time with Elijah this week, I really do feel that he and I together can really make a difference, hopefully in somebody's business today. And he and I were talking about, where are we in the business? What do we want? What are the people on our teams telling us that they want? And, that's how we came up with today's topic, which is, how-tos, actual practical steps that you can take today for your business to make sure that you can get what you want out of the system. So Elijah, if you'll kick us off with just sharing what building a business has meant for you.
Heck yeah. We all like hearing about money, because people come here for one of two reasons: time or money, or both, right? When it comes to production gets you money. When it comes to time, building gets you both time and money. And what that looked like for me, to shortly answer your question, what building has looked like for me. We went to South Carolina last week for 4 days. Right before that, my wife and I were in the Outer Banks for 2 days. So basically I worked 1 day last week, 1 day. And I wrote $4,000, and outside of me, my organization wrote 16,000. That's not including a couple DFL cases. So, and I have an average of 15 to 20% spread. And so go ahead and do the math. What's 20% of 16,000? It's pretty cool. And exactly. I see you, Dustin, 2,000. And that's not including what I wrote on Tuesday. And so if you want time and money, you have to duplicate yourself, because when you're producing, you're trading a good amount of your time for a really good amount of money. When you're building, you're trading, you're duplicating yourself so that you can get more time and money. And that's what that has meant for Maggie and I. Last week was, I think it was week 6 or 7 that we've taken off this year. I'm losing track, dude. And we got to go hang out with the founders, and Chris and Lauren and Jordan, you and Jared, and a whole bunch of great people. And our income didn't stop. And not only that, we came home to more money than when we left with.
Agreed. Agreed. We're not even home yet.
Yeah, exactly. So in the short, and to sum it up, like, that's what building has meant for me.
I love that. Well, what we're going to do, guys, if that sounds like what you're looking for, which all of you all saw the videos before you interviewed, you all have interviewed and were given your answers to questions you had about the system. And there was something about this system, something about, not working your life away for money, or, being able to duplicate your efforts and get your time back with your kids, get your time back with your spouse. Something about that, something about that stood out to you as something that you wanted. So what we're going to give you today, Elijah and I, we're going to go back and forth here very quickly, because I know we don't have a whole lot of time, and there's an excellent training call coming up at noon. We're going to go back and forth here and share 4 practical steps that you guys can take today to build your business. And especially coming from a place where you're like, maybe I'm brand new and I don't know if I should build yet. The answer is yes. Go and do one of these 4 things or all of these 4 things today. I'll kick us off. First one that we wrote down is Project 100. Now, for all of you who are new, first off, hi, I'm Jordan Gillum. I guess I didn't really introduce myself. Sorry, Elisha. And I live in Arizona. We own our business. We're agency owners in Symmetry. With me and my husband, I say we, that's who we is. And basically Project 100 was the first thing that we did when it came to recruiting. We were told, hey, write down 100 names of people in your contact list, which I was like, I don't know that many people. Turns out I knew 1,000 people on Facebook that maybe you've come in contact with, that you either enjoy the idea of working with, or that they do not like what they're doing. And all you have to do is just present the opportunity to them of like, hey man, are you in the workplace? Or hey, do you know of anybody who's looking for additional income? Hey, do you know of anybody who's looking to work remotely? Any of those quick 3 questions and a variety of that, put it out there and see what the answer that you get back is. Because a lot of the times when you ask indirectly, they're going to be like, no, that's me. I'm looking to work indirectly. I'm looking to make more income alongside of my current schedule. Especially during these COVID times, I keep seeing it on Facebook. People are like, what jobs are hiring for $16 an hour around here? I'm thinking, not in Morristown. Like, nobody's hiring for $16 an hour out there. Not like that they're going to give up to you. Those jobs are locked down. But yeah, so just reach out to people and ask that question. And, once you get a response, send out the video that your upline sent to you when you initially interviewed, and go ahead and say, hey, here's some information. I'm going to go ahead and plug you into our agency owner, our key leader, Joe Martinez, Laura Davis, whoever it is, and say, I just want to make sure that your questions are answered because we're looking for someone who would be a good fit for this program or for this career. You know what I mean? And then just get the 3-way interview scheduled. Do that 100 times. Now you're thinking 100, good griefus, that's a lot. And I've already got a lot of appointments I need to sit with. Break it down. Do 10 SCPs every week for as many weeks as you possibly can with putting your project 100 in there. And for those who are new, SCP means share the plan. It's just sending out that information and scheduling a time aside. Elijah, what's another step that they can take to building their business today?
Heck yeah. In relation to the Project 100, that's one that a lot of people kind of balk at, but I want to bring some clarity to this. I'm a byproduct of a Project 100. So is Phil Mooring. So is Brian Howell. So is James Martinez. So is, I'm just going to look at some of the other names up here. Yeah. Phil, Bobby Gildersleeve. They're all
Laura Davis.
Yeah. Laura Davis. I think Shelly, you're Betsy's War Market, right? And so you're a byproduct of a Project 100. And so if you're looking at that and you're like, that's a waste of time. You don't know what you're doing. So don't pass up on that. And one of the simple questions that you can ask people is like, hey, if I could show you a way to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month, if it didn't affect your current job, would you be interested in that? And I mean, that's life-changing income for a lot of people. And so don't be a secret agent. I did an interview over the weekend from a dude who DM'd me on Instagram because he's like, bro, you and your wife travel all the time. Like, what do you do for work? Tell me about your job. And that led to a conversation. So, and that actually is a perfect segue into step 2, which is leverage social media, y'all. It is a free resource that can tie right into your Project 100. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, MySpace, Your Space, all of it. Be vocal. And one thing that I know some people do that gets a lot of really good traction, and I see big agencies, Chris, yours included, they have a Facebook page. Now, this is a wormhole that if you're not focused, you could easily burn a whole week screwing around on social media. That's not what I'm proposing. What I am proposing is if you have a team, go ahead and create a page for yourself. You can sponsor ads on there if you want, but one of the most effective things you can do is just post frequently about what you do. Jordan, I see you do that so regularly. And I'm not talking about spending hours writing a blog post. Symmetry has a whole marketing department that does that. So just share their stuff and be vocal about what you do on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And that'll be a really easy way to just get awareness out about what you do, because a lot of times people are they're secret agent insurance agents. And you want to, if you don't have the budget for something like ZipRecruiter or CareerBuilder or any of those, go ahead and eliminate that excuse, because your Project 100 is free. It only costs you time and effort, and social media is free as well. And so if you're looking for like a practical step of, man, I don't even know where to start, go ahead and start with your Facebook list, and go ahead and start with posting about what you do regularly. And there was a post that went around, it was viral actually, with all people in Symmetry, of I'm hiring for part-time, spare time, and full-time positions and all that stuff. You don't have to come up with this. I mean, the company does.
Right.
You can go ahead and share it yourself, and just let it work on its own. And so that's a second idea. And then Jordan, talk to us a little bit about like the table recruiting piece. How does that work?
Yeah. So guys, how many appointments? I want to have a show of hands here. How many people have you spoken to, if you've sat with an appointment before, said, I would love to get the full mortgage payoff protection if I could afford it? How many people have ever said that? You got a hands up, left and right, right? So, and if you haven't heard that, you haven't sat with enough people. That's just a fact. And what that means is that there's a budget problem, right? There's a capacity, there's a limit on what these people have made or can make in their current occupation versus the bills they can bring in. What that means is that people need more, people want more. And what you need to do every single appointment is follow your 5 R's. And one of your 5 R's is recruit. I have hired awesome, absolutely wonderful people off of the dining room table. They have added income to their families while they're having a baby, or while their spouse was driving a truck on the road and they were only bringing in $300 a month on that side income that they were making. I've seen what happens to families when they take a hold of this working from home. There's a lot of single mothers out there that when you're running your appointment, they're scared. They're scared about what happens when their husband dies or when their wife dies, because that's the only income coming into their house. Why not present the opportunity of Symmetry to someone who's always home, who needs something that is schedule helpful for them? And so just share the plan with the people that you're talking to. Here's how you do it. You guys ready? This is going to be extremely difficult, and I need you to take notes. When you're sitting with the people, you say, hey, are any one of you all in the job market? Done. Finished. Done. Like, I like to say it like all the time. Hey, if you like sitting, I'm a professional sitter. And if you feel like you could do what I just did with you guys, then just let me know, because we need as much help as we possibly can get. Watch the door of questions open up. And you say, hey, those are great questions. Let me do this with you. Let me schedule just a short time with you and our agency owner tomorrow. I'm going to send you some information to review, SCP. You send some information for you to review, and they're going to give you a call tomorrow. I'll be on that call too, just to make sure if you have questions that I can't answer, that I'm learning at the same time. I'm pretty new at this too. Recruit at every single table, because people need this. That's another sense of free recruiting, guys. You're already investing in your leads. You're going to help them with mortgage protection. I would say this is paid recruiting, because you're helping them with mortgage protection, getting paid on the policies that you're writing with them, and then you're bringing them on board. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And they understand the process. They understand how they got to where they are, and they know that there's a need for the product out there. And then last but not least, Elijah, let's go into cold market recruiting.
Yeah. So all of these require 2 characteristics. If you're taking notes, you need to write this down. Persistency and consistency, baby. You can do this one time, and like when it comes to building, it is not a one quick fix everything. It's something that compounds over time. And I know that from watching Chris. I mean, Chris, your agency is on pace to do over 5 million this year.
Woo,
And
woo, woo.
you know what Chris does every day? Interviews every day. Every freaking day, man. He did one at the lake house. I saw it. And so it's not something that you do one time and then you're done. And so this last one is one that let's say you tapped out your or your warm market, which nobody's ever done. Or let's say you're not running appointments and you don't want to do table recruits. Or let's say you don't know how to use Facebook, which
There's a lot of things you're saying right now, Elijah, that are not true. But people can, come on, you sit on your phone, you might as well recruit, right? If you're going to sit there and play Candy Crush, go ahead, and while it's loading up the next ad, put an ad out there for your business. Go ahead.
So when it comes to cold market, this is the best way to, on a large scale, recruit. Now, you can start with maybe $300 a month, or you want to go hard, do 2,000 plus. I know, Joe, I think I don't want to spill the beans, Joe, but you're spending multiple thousands of dollars every month in recruiting. And I used the wrong word, not spending, investing. And that is probably the most scalable way, because it's quick copy and paste. You just move on. Like I watched Chris do interviews a couple weeks ago, and the dude sat there and had the same conversation 7 times in a row, back to back to back to back, baby. And it's a little bit harder to do that with warm market, just because you're talking to people, you're catching up on life, whatever. And so when it comes to cold market, I mean, ZipRecruiter is great. I know it's a bit pricey, but that's the most popular one I see. I know people do Craigslist, Career Builder, whatever. You can spend money on Facebook ads. Cold market is simply defined as investing in some sort of ad online, whatever it is. And here's the thing when it comes to recruiting too, you can do any of these. I mean, there are people who built entire hierarchies off just ZipRecruiter or off just warm market. It don't matter as long as you do it over and over and over again. And here's the key. I was talking to Brandon on a boat last week, and we're talking, and I'm going to be really vulnerable with you guys here for a second. I was getting some advice, and we were hanging out. And when you hang around big people, you need to choose your questions very wisely.
That's right.
So don't ask stupid questions. And one of the things I was talking about is how we've been incredibly stagnant. My organization, we have amazing people. We've been flatline. We are 60 grand a month, like clockwork for the last 9 months. And I was talking to Brandon, and I was talking to Brian Williamson, and I was asking him, like, dude, I've really been struggling with momentum and motivation and energy and excitement around the business. And what do you recommend? And he was like, well, how many new people are you bringing on a week? So he answered my question with a question. I was like, dude, maybe 1 or 2. He's like, well, I would start there, man. If you're recruiting 10 people a month, you're sustaining, like barely. You might even be declining. If you recruit 15 a month, it's like kind of growing, you know? If you recruit 20, it's like a penny stock or cryptocurrency. It is a straight up rocket ship of explosive growth. And that's not just a made up number. Look at Mark Newbauer's team. Mark, I think you got, what is it, like 35 or 40 people to conference back in April. And not even 6 months later, your team is triple the size, triple. And part of that is because you're personally investing like $1,000 a month in recruiting, but you got Joe doing it. You got Jeff, you got Brian Howell, you got Dustin, you got Betsy. So many people in your organization are all building. And it's not really a surprise. People look at the result and they're like, oh, this dude hit it. He hit the gold string in the rock. No, it's not, dude. It's you're missing the whole sowing season that took place. And when it comes to building, it is a lot of sowing. It's a lot of sowing and it's a lot of sorting. And if you're lacking something in this business, which I know I am, that's why I'm so freaking excited to build. And I don't think this is a coincidence. I'm hanging on a boat talking to a dude who makes over $10 million a year. And I'm like, hey man, what's the cure? He's like, it's building. It's not a certain policy type. It's not a lead. It's not a, you need to move here and the climate will fix all your issues. It's not a, you need to talk to this person. It's, you need to hire more people. And I want you to, Jordan, before I pass it back to you, is by show of hands, I just want to involve some people who doesn't have a recruit. No shame. Just like raise your hand if you don't, it's just you. Maybe you're new, maybe you're just producing. You don't want to recruit anybody. Anybody else? Hey, no shame. Raise your hand if you don't have a recruit. All right. Whoever is your upline, I want you to go ahead and take a picture of that person so that we remember what they look like when they quit. If you don't have a recruit, you're gone in 6 months. This is not an indictment. This isn't a, you're not good at this. This is a cautionary, like, wake up call. If you don't have your recruit, you're gone, dude. It's not because we're going to kick you out or you're fired. It's your income is temporary. Therefore you're temporary. People quit jobs all the time. My parents own a coffee shop. They hire new people for the same position. I kid you not, once a month. Now this is obviously different than food service, but if you're just producing, think about this. You have 1 or 2 bad weeks. What are you going to do if you don't have a recruit? You're going to go look for something else. You're going to go chase a higher comp or a new job or whatever. But if you have a $2,000 a week passive income, you think you're going to quit? Not a chance, dog. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You got to go hire somebody. And I hope that the couple of tips, and Jordan, go ahead and close this out. What would you have to say to the cold market piece, or what do people do? What kind of mindset should they have pertaining to recruiting?
Absolutely, guys. And when he shares this with you, we're not saying get out. We hate you. Just go ahead and quit now. Nobody's saying that. We're saying that's the reason why we're doing this call. We're doing this call to give you steps so that you, when you chose you and you chose yourself to start your own business for your family, for your kids, for your future, for your freedom, when you chose to do that, We are giving you the steps in order to make sure that you can actually go get that. Because when you don't follow these steps, you're not going to get it producing. Because right now you're in a bracket. Guys, get a book today. It's Robert Kiyosaki. It's the cash flow quadrant, right? And there's a cash flow quadrant that you're going to learn in there where you're either an employee, you're self-employed, or you're a business owner and you're an investor, right? And when you're in this left side, when you're an employee or a self-employed, the left side of the quadrant is temporary income, meaning that if you don't work, things don't get paid, period. That's how it is. And so you think as a self-employed person, you have freedom. You don't really truly have freedom until money is working for you, until your money is actually coming in without you having to be there. And that's why we encourage you to build a business, build a bridge, build a beautiful, lovely, fantastic bridge to go from being self-employed to being a business owner, and go hire somebody today. Go share this with someone. There is something about this business that you love. Somebody else is going to love it too. And so when we share 10 recruits a month and you're thinking, oh God, like, I'm not gonna be able to put up 10 because I'm just going to stagnate. It starts with 10, guys. Get you 10 and someone will buy into that vision of no longer serving somebody else's dream and serving their own dream, and they're going to build too. And then it's not just your efforts, it's you and your team's efforts. That's what I love so much about conference is we brought 30 people to conference, and these wonderful people are still here. They're still here, whether they're part-time or full-time, and they're struggling and they're going through their learning curve, but they're still here. Do you know why they're still here? It's because we share a vision. We share a vision of owning a business, and they recruit, and most of our teammates have a teammate, and that's why they're still here. And so, we love you guys. We're so excited. This is going to be the most awesome last final 2 weeks of this year or this month. Wait until you see what July is going to pull out when you guys do these 4 practical steps. So Chris, we're going to pass it back to you. Guys, be out of balance. Be out of balance right now so you can get into balance. Have a great day.
I love it. Elijah, Jordan, great job right there. Break down those 4 things. And I challenge you guys to put that into your business, see if it doesn't make a difference. And I challenge you to not do it for a week, do it for 2 weeks, do it for the next 90 days, sign up for conference. And I got one more guest for you real quick. She's going to wrap it up 1 minute, and she's just going to give you a special contest that we're going to be doing around conference to help you guys build the dream that they already talked about. So I'm going to leave it to the special one here. This is my wife, Lauren Cook.
Hello, guys. We're in a different location. We're doing something special with Miss Tina and her family this week. So I apologize for the noise in the background and all that good stuff. So you talked about recruiting. Thing with recruiting is to get them to stay, to get them to buy in quicker, to get them to also get the spirit of building, all that other good stuff. The best way to do it is get them to conference. We've got a conference coming up in 51 days. 51 days is our next conference. Good Lord.
Awesome.
It's coming up so fast. So 51 days. We're trying to get as many people there as we can. Obviously, the more people, the more energy, the more they will get out of it. Reese, please stop. Sorry. I said it's crazy here. So we are getting ready for that conference in 51 days. We wanted to do a contest. Ticket prices are going up August 1st. $129 will be the new ticket price. Up until that point, it's $99. So if you're here, if you are on this call, get registered. If you have not, get registered, get your spouse registered, get your significant other registered, get your team registered, get everybody registered, because ticket prices go up to $129 August 1st. So to encourage everybody to bring someone, we're going to run a little contest. I guess it's called hazing. Thing that we do for new agency owners. When they become a new agency owner, we take them to Epcot and run them around the world down in Epcot. It's super fun. We've done it with Jordan and Jared, Elijah and Maggie. We've got some people that we're getting ready to do, and we wanted to do it right before conference. And we are inviting some people to go with us, and how you can attend this special little function at Epcot. We're going to buy your ticket so you can come with us. Tickets are about a little over $100 plus tax for that event. And we're going to buy your ticket. If you get 5 people starting today, registered for conference. So 5 people registered for conference. You can come with us. We'll buy your ticket. That's going to be Tuesday, the 7th, before the conference starts, the 8th. Remember, having the cocktail welcome reception on the 8th. So on Tuesday, we're going to go out and run some people through Epcot, and you can join us. It's a lot of fun. The Food and Wine Festival is going on, which is amazing if you're a foodie like me. So much good food. You're really going to have a great time. It'll be a fun time for all of us to get together and just have a good time. It's a fun time. It's not a work time. It's fun time. So 5 people starting today. So you can't count anybody that you've already got registered. 5 people starting today, and we will buy you a ticket to Epcot for that Tuesday before conference, which is the 7th. And can't stress this enough, how important it is to get your team to conference. If you really want to accelerate your team, conference will do that. And all you have to do is get them there. Like, that's the hardest part. Just get them there, get their butt in the seat, and we'll take care of the rest. We've got an amazing conference planned. We're madly working on it since it's coming up so quickly. But it's going to be really great. Some special guests. I was talking to owners about some things that I needed from them for the conference. So a lot of fun stuff. And if you want to accelerate your team, accelerate your growth, accelerate that 90 days, conference will do that for you. And you get rewarded by a fun trip to Epcot. So talk to your upline, get with your upline today. How can I get 5 people registered for conference? They will talk to you about that. There's, I think, about 42 rooms left in our room block. Remember, you can't sign up for the room block until you get registered for conference. Our room block's at the Lowe's Portofino Bay Hotel. So take advantage of that. Get registered for conference, get your team registered. So if you have any questions, get with your upline. They can get with me. But that's it. 5 people, Epcot. So worth it. I hope everybody has a great day. Call us if you need us. Get with your upline. Let's blow out conference. Have a great week. Bye.